यथाग्ने दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया यथाग्ने दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्या स्वरूपान्ता शारदा प्रणमाम्यहम् सर्वविद्या स्वरूपान्ता शारदा प्रणमाम्यहम् जय जय जननी जय श्री शारदामुनि करुणारूपिणी जय मां जय जय जननी जय श्री शारदामुनि करुणारूपिणी जय मां जय जगदारिणी भवभयहारिणी दुर्गति निवारिणी मां जय जगदारिणी भवभयहारिणी दुर्गति निवारिणी मां नमो नारायण জয় জয় জননী জয় শ্রী শারদামণি করুণারূপিণী জয় মা আকাশপতি পরমা প্রকৃতি আকাশপতি পরমা প্রকৃতি অসরণগতি তুমি মা অসরণগতি তুমি মা জয় জয় জননী জয় শ্রী শারদামণি করুণারূপিণী জয় মা
A reading from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. The chapter is Visit to the Srinki Brahmo Samaj, entry dated October 19, 1884. Sub-Judge: Sir, we are householders. How long should we perform our worldly duties? Master, that is Sri Ramakrishna. Surely you have duties to perform. You must bring up your children, support your wife, and provide for her in case of your death. If you don't, then I shall call you unkind. Sages like Shukadeva had compassion. He who has no compassion is no man. Sub-Judge: How long should one support one's children? Master: As long as they have not reached their majority. When the chick becomes a full-grown bird and could look after itself, then the mother bird pecks it and doesn't allow it to come near her. Sub-Judge: What is a householder's duty to his wife? Master: You should give her spiritual advice and support her during your lifetime, and provide for her livelihood after your death, if she is a chaste wife. But if you are intoxicated with the knowledge of God, then you have no more duties to perform. Then God Himself will think about your morrow, if you yourself cannot do so. God Himself will think about your family, if you are intoxicated with Him. If a landlord dies leaving behind a minor son, then a guardian appointed by the court takes charge of the son. These are all points of law. You know them. Sub-Judge: Yes, sir. Vijay: Priceless words. God Himself carries on His shoulders all the responsibilities of a person who thinks of Him with single-minded devotion and is mad with divine love. A minor gets his guardian without seeking him. Alas, when shall I have that state of mind? How lucky they are who feel that way. Trailokya: Is it ever possible, sir, to have true knowledge of God while living in the world? Can one realize God here? Master, with a smile: Why do you worry? You are enjoying both trickle and refined sugar. All right. You are living in the world with your mind in God. Isn't that true? Why shouldn't a man realize God in the world? Certainly he can. Here is
Now time for a short meditation. Welcome you all today to our special program of music. Before we go to the main program of music, I just wanted to, for a few minutes to talk about music and spirituality. How music is connected with creation. They say in the beginning, it said in the Bible, in the beginning was Word. That was the first manifestation in creation. And Word was with God. And Word was God. So Word was music. That in Sanskrit it's called Nada. The first Shakti and the first manifestation of the Shakti is Nada, the Pranava, the Omkara. And that is the music. When Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda met first time, such wonderful disciple and guru, their bond started with music. Swami Vivekananda sang song Mono Jalo Nijo Niketane. Oh mind, let us go to our own abode. And Sri Ramakrishna sang, listened to the song, and he was so much absorbed that he went into samadhi. Forgot everything. Forgot that Narendranath is seated there, that Dakshineswar temple. He was merged into the music. The best time of human awareness, best what we can do is to be in samadhi. When we are with our own soul, second best, when we float with music, when our soul is filled with music. Then comes the intellectual joy and all that. But after samadhi, before Samadhi is the music, is the one thing that is the best. Yam asked Sri Ramakrishna in his very first meeting. Yam says, after talking many other things about God, whether it is formless or with form, and why people worship God in idols, Sri Ramakrishna explained everything. Then Yam was an eager seeker of God. He said, how, sir, may we fix our minds on God? How to practice spirituality? How to become spiritual? Sri Ramakrishna answered. The first word of his answer is, repeat God's name and sing His glories. It's about singing. Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Always sing the name of God. They don't say always just chant, always just say. They say chant, sing, be musical. That's how the word is. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. And Sri Ramakrishna said, repeat God's name and sing His glories and keep holy company. And now and then visit God's devotees and holy men. As I was saying, this creation, first manifestation of, in creation is Nada, the music. Nada means music, and what that music is? Pranava. They say music and Vedas, they were created together. And in fact, they are inseparable. Sri Krishna says, among the Vedas, I am Sama Veda. He doesn't say about Rig Veda, which is supposed to be the first Veda. Why he says about the Sama Veda? Sama Veda is the musical. It's all chanted in musical rhythms. That's what the specialty of Sama Veda. And even the Gita itself, the book, conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, is not called Samvada. It's called Gita. That which is sung, which is music. So how the music and spirituality are interlinked. They cannot be separable. Music is in fact spiritual practice. Swami Vivekananda used to say, music is the highest art. And for those who really understand what music is, for them it is highest worship. The thing that is very comfortably and easily connects us with God. Music makes us absorb to God in a moment. That's what Swami Vivekananda said. That we are going to have the music here today from K Brothers and from Justin Gray. And we have their accompaniments in Tanpura also. Music is really a joy, a serene joy of the soul. Our all saints were musicians. Sri Chaitanya himself used to sing the name of God. And he will, by that singing the name of God, he brought behind him as devotees, whole society was just following, singing the name of God. Hari Bol was the thing. Repeat the name of God in a divinity, in a musical tone. Tansen, Baiju, Mirabai, Suradas, Tyagaraja, whole India, the spirituality, practice of spirituality, the practical spirituality, the whole devotional movement is intimately connected with music. Without music, there's no devotion. Music is an integral part of devotion. Thus, songs, music just rouses our spiritual feeling very, very nicely. Rabindranath wrote many stories, he wrote novels, he wrote poems, but on which he won the Nobel Prize, it is Gitanjali. Gitanjali is not just a poem, it is lyrics of the poem. It is the offering of music to Lord. That's what the name Gitanjali says, offering of songs to Lord. And Rabindranath, all those Gitanjali songs are set into music. Music is universal spiritual practice. Granth Sahib of the six whole scripture is set to music in different ragas. Whole book can be just sung. Like Samaveda, the whole book is sung in different ragas. That's how the music is intimately connected with the practice of Sikhism. Whole day they sing this Sabad Kirtan. The name of their prayer is Sabad Kirtan. The word in musical form. The very meaning is Sabad Kirtan is word in musical form. That's what the Granth Sahib is. In some other, in Christianity, churches have, all the church will have some choir group. That's how it is connected. Music is the language of the soul. Soul understands the language of the music. Even in Islam, where music is not in the traditional Islam, is not much emphasized, but if you listen to their azan when they recite in the morning, it's very musical. Though they don't sing as such or that, they don't prescribe dancing. But in other forms of Islam, like in your what do you call it, Sufis, they sing the name of God. Even they dance in the ecstasy in the God's name. But in traditional, majority of Muslims don't, in traditional way, they don't prescribe that because somehow they're connected. But divine music is always connected with very, very azan. When you listen to azan, it's like chanting of Vedas. When you hear they reciting the traditional Quran, you don't really listen from the far. It's just as if they are reciting the Vedas, the same tune. So all religions are basically based on music. They have to arouse the musical sense of our soul, and then this music really becomes our spiritual practice. Music is very intimately connected with spiritual practice. And perhaps when we go to Samadhi, it all should be like merging in the music of the soul. We don't know, but it should be like merging in the music of the soul. Today, we have K Brothers and Justin Gray and what's her name? Jena. They will be presenting their music, and it's more than the music for the ear, this is music for the soul, and it's more connected with spirituality. And their formal introduction will be read by Karthik a little later. Before that, in fact, their coming today was arranged by Sonali Ray and Anjan Ghosh. They themselves are very good musician, music teacher itself, and professionally they are mathematics teachers. But they were supposed to come, and Anjan was supposed to play tabla, very good. Anjan Ghosh is a very good tabla player. But somehow they had emergency and they had to go to US yesterday, and they could not be here today. So, but we have them, and they said, Swamiji, don't worry for not having tabla. We will make it by making it more spiritual, more meditative, more being absorbed by the soul. So we are looking for music to be played. Now, Karthik for the formal introduction. Thank you.
Monsoon Trio is the first ever collaboration to perform the Indian art of raga music on modern Western instruments. The trio consists of saxophone-playing brothers Jonathan and Andrew Kay, and bass veena artist Justin Gray, who were initiated 7 years ago into the ancient Guru Shishya Parampara, a learning system under their guru, Pandit Shantanu Bhattacharya. For the past 4 years, the trio has been intensively studying raga music while living in Kolkata, India. Under the mentorship of their guru, the trio have embarked upon a lifelong journey of discovering the deep spiritual beauty and majestic power contained in the ragas. The trio has been collectively focusing on performing the vocal gayaki through their Western instruments, soprano, alto, and tenor saxophones, and bass veena. Through innovative techniques and approaches, the members of the Monsoon Trio are emerging as the first artists to express these fine nuances on their respective instruments, and have received recognition and praise from some of India's top classical maestros. Since 2009, Monsoon Trio has recorded with and performed alongside many of India's greatest classical music maestros, including
Vikram Ghosh, Tejendra Narayan Majumdar, Rashid Khan, Shubhankar Banerjee, Subhajyoti Guha, and their renowned guru, Pandit Shantanu Bhattacharya. The trio has also been featured performers at some of India's most prestigious Indian classic musical festivals, including the All India Music Circle 2011 and the Salt Lake Silver Jubilee Music Festival 2011. Monsoon Trio is preparing for their debut album to be released in summer 2014 and would like to thank the Ontario Arts Council for their support in this unique project. The trio will be performing a raga recital next Saturday, November 8th at 7 p.m. The concert will be held at the Small World Music Center in downtown Toronto. The recital will be followed by Steve Korn, a world-renowned Bansuri maestro from New York City. Please feel free to ask the members of the trio for more information after the concert. Thank you.
Namaskar. We'd like to thank you so much for having us today. And we'd like to obviously thank Swamiji for his profound words. Nobody could have said it better. And they are so reflective of all of the things that we've come to learn while living in India. And learning this tradition with our Guru. We also have been looking at this, and after our first trip came to realize that music in India, the classical music, is more than just entertainment and more than just becoming good at it, an instrument or being able to play a melody. It is a sadhana, it's a complete lifestyle, and like Swamiji said, that it takes yourself to immerse yourself so deeply into the consciousness of the ragas. And I can only think of the day that when Guruji has described merging with the ragas and becoming one with the consciousness that is no different than samadhi. And the more that we pursue and the more sincerely, the more devoted we are to this sadhana, I find that the ragas slowly but surely unveil themselves to us. They become more intimate companions. And it is obviously through the practice of them, through the playing of the instruments and fine-tuning ourselves with the 10th Buddha. But I believe that the ragas, they respect the sadhana and they want to come to people that are doing sadhana, which is why we feel so fortunate to be so close with our Guruji, who is doing this on a daily basis and showing us just a little bit every day what it takes to be in touch with this consciousness. And so, along with all of the great spiritual masters, the sages, the musicians from India, I'd like to dedicate this to our Guru as well, that we are always thinking of when we perform this music. And all of the great Gurus who have taught us over the ages. We will perform Rag Bhairav, Alap, Jor, and Chala in the Drupad, mostly Drupad style, and conclude with a short Bhairavi. Hello? Bhairav, the Rag, is meant for early morning, a lot earlier than this, but we thought it would be appropriate because it signifies the opening of consciousness and the awakening of the day, but more importantly, of the consciousness. So if we can use this raga as our meditation to live in the light of the truths that the yogis passed on to us, then this rag is a perfect vehicle for that. So that's why we'll play Rag Bhairav. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.